Hey guys, I'm back to do another character review. Like I mentioned in my last video, this time my friend and I are doing reviews of a character that one of us likes and the other one dislikes, and vice versa. And like I also mentioned, the characters that we're reviewing this time are Timon and Pumbaa from the Lion King franchise, and Elsa from Frozen. My friend did his Elsa video day before yesterday. I did my Elsa video 2 days before that, and he did his Timon and Pumbaa video the day before that. Yeah, I know, we are kind of slow this time. Busy with work. Anyway, I'm here today to do my Timon and Pumbaa video. And, I've got to confess, as popular as they are, among the Disney sidekicks, I haven't always been the biggest fan of theirs. In fact, I've always kind of disliked them. I mean, I haven't hated them or anything, but they've always kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm here today to talk about, why I dislike them, and why, other people do also. Anyway, my complaints are, they in their movie, The Lion King 1.5, completely shamed the original by making fun of serious scenes. Timon is very egocentric. They were mean to Simba when they laughed at him after he told them about what his father had told him about the great kings of the past watching over them. Timon is mean to Pumbaa, especially in the sequels and TV series. He's always yelling at him and bossing him around and looking down on him. Pumbaa never stands up for himself, and lets Timon walk all over him. Their relationship seems unhappy, with Timon walking all over Pumbaa and him not standing up for himself. And they're annoying. And the others that my friend and I have heard that I don't necessarily agree with are, they were too overplayed, they're not funny, they tell Simba to run away from his problems, excuse me, and they ruined "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" by singing the last line. I definitely don't agree with that one. Anyway. Okay, starting with, they in their movie The Lion King 1.5 completely shamed the original by making fun of serious scenes. And some examples of that are Pumbaa farting and causing the animals to bow to Simba, and everything in Can You Feel the Love Tonight happening because they were trying to break Simba and Nala up, and there are some other ones, but those were the two big ones. Yeah, while I will admit that they had a few funny moments in Lion King 1.5, to me, most of their humor in that movie was pretty cheap, and really didn't do anything for me except shame the original. I mean, yeah, they had some funny moments in it. I will admit that, but And my friend did mention that, well, even though I did admit that, that the new Lola Bunny was was shameful to the original, I still liked her. I guess the reason that this bothers me more is because it's right. It's actually part of the Lion King franchise. It's not like with Lola Bunny they made a Space Jam 2 and completely made the Looney Tune characters the opposite of what they were in them. Like I said, I think that, I still think that it's a shameful way to evolve her character, but I can imagine her as a different character than what she was in Space Jam. But with this was actually supposed to be their backstory and the continuity of the Lion King, not a different and separate version of them like with Lola Bunny. So I guess that's why it bothers me more, because it could have been very interesting and added a lot of depth to their personality, but no, really all it does is really all it does and really all they do in it is make fun of the original. And yeah, I know we're not here to talk about Lion King 1.5, but most of what they do in it, like I said, Pumbaa farting and making all the animals bow to Simba, did nothing but make fun of the original. Them trying to break up Simba and Nala and causing all the events in Can You Feel the Love Tonight. It did nothing but make fun of the original. It didn't add any depth to them. So I guess that's why it bothers me so much. Because it's actually part of the continuity of the Lion King and the Lion King franchise, and it shamed itself. They shamed itself. So sorry if I sounded a little bit off track there. Timon is very egocentric. Even in the original, he takes credit for Pumbaa's idea, and doesn't want Simba and Nala to be together. And by the time you get to the TV series, he had an ego the size of Darkwing Ducks and never thought of anyone else unless they were in life-threatening danger. In the original, yeah, he didn't, his ego was a little too much for my taste in the original, like where he tries to take credit for Pumbaa's idea, about, raising Simba, and then, and then Simba will be on their side, and when, Nala comes, and he and Pumbaa see that they're falling in love, and all he can think of is how their trio is going to break up and not being happy at all for his friend and that sort of thing. That was a little too egocentric for my taste, but yeah, by the time you got to, like, the TV series, yeah, I would definitely say that his ego rivaled Darkwing Duck's. No offense, Chris, but I would definitely say that. I mean, I can remember several episodes where he, one that I'm thinking of, where he actually, wouldn't listen to Pumbaa until he was basically threatened, until basically his life was being threatened by the bad guy. Like, in the one that I'm, thinking of, where, I don't remember the name of it, but, like, they're in Alaska looking for gold. How they got to Alaska is beyond me. And, some guy posing as a tour guide comes, but he wants the gold for himself, and, Pumbaa keeps, trying to warn Timon about it, but he won't listen to him until, the guy's threatening to kill both of them. Because Timon is so greedy and wants it all. And I mean, no, that doesn't bother me as much as, like, the original comic book version of Scrooge, where pretty much his only personality trait is, dragging his, family into life-threatening situations for his own selfish gain and that sort of thing. Because it was intended to be taken more seriously than the Timon and Pumbaa series, but it still bothers me to have a hero of a show that is that selfish and egocentric. If they had kept his egocentricism level to the level that it is in the original movie, it probably wouldn't have bothered me as much. But to have a hero of a show, even one that's not intended to be taken all that seriously, to the level that it was, yeah, that's definitely, that's definitely a bit much for me, and, especially a show that, is going to be watched by young children. They were mean to Simba when they laughed at him after he told them, what his father told him, about the great kings of the past watching over them. My friend did mention that they didn't know that it was his father, that they didn't know that it was his father that had told him that, which, yeah, I already knew that, but still, it always bothered me that they laughed at him like that, because, well, you can tell by the way that Simba's talking that he's, very serious about it, and that it means a lot to him. And that he was even kind of shy about mentioning it, because at first he's like, at first he doesn't want to talk about it, and then when they, urge him to do it, he finally says, well, somebody once told me that the great kings of the past are up there, watching over us. In a real serious way. And then Timon, without basically says, "You mean a bunch of royal dead guys are watching us?" And they both burst into laughter and are like, "What mook made that up?" So yeah, even though they didn't know that it was his father that said it, to me it says that they don't really pay much attention to his friend, to their friend, and his feelings, and that sort of thing, and yeah, when Simba gets up and leaves, and Timon goes, "Is it something I said?" To me that just sounds either like he's so, like he's so out of it and doesn't pay any attention at all to Simba, that he didn't even notice how bad they were making Simba feel, because the whole time they were laughing, Simba, you could tell that Simba was feeling bad, and or he was trying to get out of it, or he was trying to just brush it off and get out of it. So yeah, I understand that they didn't know that it was his father, but still, to me, it comes across as thoughtless at the very least, not paying any attention to your friend, and mean at the worst. It's just always something about them that has bothered me. Pumbaa never stands up for himself and lets Timon walk all over him. Yeah, I know, it's not like he never stands up for himself. And my friend did mention that, that he, stands up for his right to go, help Simba in Lion King 1.5, but that's, that, in my opinion, that was more standing up for Simba than himself. In my opinion, that was, or at the very least, standing up for both of them, so I only really give that one, half a point for, standing up for himself, since he was at the very least standing up for both himself and Simba, and at the very least standing up for just Simba, and at the very most standing up for himself and Simba. So I don't really count that one very much, and I honestly can't really think of any time that he's stood up for just his own rights. Not even in the sense that, like, Minnie and Goofy have. Like, I mean, at least with, I don't mind, I don't mind, submissive characters, and characters that don't like confrontation like Minnie and Goofy, as long as they are willing to stand up for themselves, and I really can't think of any time that Pumbaa has stood up for just his own rights. I mean, like with, like with Goofy, in a Goofy movie, after Max tells him to go in the wrong direction, he stops and gets out of the car, and Max comes and tries to explain everything to him, and then Goofy says, "Why bother? I'm probably too stupid to understand anyway, right?" Um, and, and with Minnie, while she does let Daisy, while she does let Daisy walk all over her, in some cases, she has stood up for her she has stood up for herself also. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. She has stood up for herself. She has stood up for herself also. She just prefers to stand up for her friends. Um, and, and I'm also not that crazy about Minnie and Daisy's relationship, but I'll get more into that in later complaints. Like one incident where she stands up to actually both Daisy and Clarabelle is in the House of Mouse episode Ladies' Night, where Daisy and Clarabelle want to have fun and break the rules, and Minnie won't let them and says that they need to stick to the schedule. So yeah, while I do like characters, while there are some characters that I like that are submissive and don't like confrontation, I'm not crazy about characters that never stand up for themselves, and I honestly can't think of a time when Pumbaa has stood up for just himself. Moving on. Their relationship seems unhappy, with Timon walking all over Pumbaa and him not standing up for himself. Yeah, I know in the TV series they try to show them in the TV series and in the and in the movies they try to show them as being bestest best friends and everything, but I don't know. I've just never been able to picture them being all that happy. With Timon constantly being constantly walking all over Pumbaa, shouting at him, bossing him around, being mean to him, and all sorts of things, and Pumbaa just never standing up for himself, and enduring it all. I've just never been able to picture it as being all that happy a relationship, and again, again, I even though it's not intended to be taken all that seriously, I'm not fond of shows where the two heroes treat each other in such a mean way. If the relationship was kept more like it was in the original Lion King movie and the second movie, it probably wouldn't bother me as much, but by the time you get to the 1.5 and the TV series, to me it's way over the top, as far as abusive, especially for a kid's show, and, and even though it's not intended to be taken seriously, it's the heroes of a kid's show don't really need to be behaving that way. Um, Toward their best friend. Um, I don't know. That's just my personal opinion. Um, Anyway, my friend did mention that I liked Minnie and Daisy, even though they don't have the best relationship, and yeah, while I do like them as characters, in fact, Minnie is my favorite fictional female character, and I do like Daisy a lot as a character. I'm not fond of every version of their friendship, their relationship with each other. Um, my favorite version of their relationship, even though it's aimed at really little girls, is in the Minnie's Bowtunes TV series, because while Daisy is still the ditzy best friend, um, her personality has been toned down a bit. A lot, I should say, actually. Her personality has been toned down a lot. Um, she's still very ditzy and somewhat nagging, but she doesn't walk all over Minnie like she has in the past. I'd say that her personality to the Daisy in the original shorts is similar to DuckTales Scrooge to the original comic version. It's about that toned down. And yeah, I know that we're not here to talk about the Ducks. But to me, that's a much better friendship and relationship than in the classic Minnie and Daisy shorts. And that's pretty much how I view Timon and Pumbaa's relationship, especially in the Lion King 1.5 and TV series. And they're annoying. Yeah, annoying is very, very, very subjective, and I've personally always found them pretty annoying. So I won't go too deep into this. I can understand why they appeal to some people. Obviously they do have a lot of fans, but their type of humor with their fart jokes and, fighting and that sort of thing has never really appealed to me, but that's just my personal opinion. And moving on to the complaints that I don't necessarily agree with. They were way too overplayed. This one I do get to an extent. Yeah, I think that, I think that Disney way overused them, especially, like I said, when you get it, especially, with the TV series and the, Lion King 1.5, and, the fact that, they were obviously merchandised a lot more than, than say, than the hero and heroine of the show and any other character, than the hero and heroine of the movie and any other character. So I do get this to an extent, but, the fact that a character is overplayed and over-merchandised, shouldn't really affect your opinion of the character. I mean, yeah, it can get annoying, like with Frozen, but, But it doesn't, but don't let that affect how much you like or dislike the character. Because it really has nothing to do with the personality of the character. They're not funny. The reason I didn't list this in my complaints is because it pretty much went with the whole annoying thing, and I didn't think that it needed to be. I didn't think I needed to list both of those, but yeah, I definitely agree that that they're not all that funny. And just like annoying, funny is in the eye of the beholder, and I can definitely get this one. But like I said, I can also see why some people find them funny. They tell Simba to run away from his problems. Yeah, they do. This actually never really bothered me that much because, well, in the original movie, they weren't intended to be role models. In the original movie, they weren't the heroes, and they weren't intended to be role models, and, so a Disney sidekick giving bad advice doesn't really bother me. And it was pretty much necessary for the plot of the movie, so that never really bothered me. And yeah, I know in the Lion King 1.5 and in the TV series, they weren't intended to be role models either, but still, I think that their personality, got a little bit too, got a little bit too, crazy, especially for a kid's show. And finally, the dumbest one, they ruined "Can You Feel the Love Tonight" by singing the last line. Really? Again, the only time that I'd say that they actually ruined it was in Lion King 1.5 when they were trying to break Simba and Nala up and causing the events of it, but I pretty much tried to ignore that movie. Even if you wish they hadn't sung the last line, I'd hardly call that ruining a song. Even if you dislike them, even if you hate them, this is a very, weak reason to add to your list of hatred. Come up with a better reason than this. Anyway, that's about all that I have to say. Excuse me. Lately, my opinion of them has changed a little bit. I kind of have mixed feelings about them now. The versions of them in Lion King and Lion King 2, I'm not, are definitely not among my favorite Disney sidekicks, but they're okay. They're decent enough sidekicks, but the versions of them in like Lion King 1.5 and the TV series, I still I still dislike those. Um, to me, their personalities, if they had kept their personalities more like they were in the Lion King and Lion King 2 movies, I probably would have preferred them. To me, their personalities just got way over the top. In the Lion King and, in the Lion King 1.5 in the TV series. So I guess that I prefer them even as sidekicks than I do as, like, the heroes of the show. Like I said, I have kind of mixed feelings about them, and hopefully I'll decide whether I like them or not. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about them. The link to my first video and my friend's 2 videos will be in the description box below. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye, and see you next time.